Sheena's response to Lala's ire during the reunion shed light on their complex dynamic. Sheena appeared visibly unsettled, seeking Lala's approval with an almost palpable fear of her disapproval. Her rapid attempt to justify her actions to placate Lala's anger underscored a perceived power imbalance in their relationship. Not to assign blame solely to Lala, but it's evident that Sheena feels pressured to conform to Lala's narrative to avoid conflict. During the reunion, Sheena's declaration about Lala being her pillar seemed more like an attempt at damage control, which Lala seemed to recognize. Reflecting on the episode, it's easy to interpret Sheena's behavior as indicative of someone in an emotionally abusive dynamic, with Lala assuming a controlling role akin to Sandoval's with Schwartz. The atmosphere around Lala appears tense, with everyone cautiously navigating her moods. However, Sheena's insecurity seems particularly pronounced, perhaps due to her uncertainty about her own identity. It's concerning to witness Sheena prioritize Lala's happiness over consoling Ariana, indicating a skewed sense of loyalty. Sheena's reliance on Lala for validation is troubling, especially considering strained relationships with other cast members. While Katie's disapproval runs deep and aligning with Sandoval or Schwartz could jeopardize her aspirations, Sheena's dependence on Lala feels more like survival than genuine friendship. Regarding Sheena's actions at the reunion, there's speculation that she and Lala may have strategized beforehand, especially after the show's producer's warning. Sheena's attempt to reassure Lala might have been more about saving face than genuine support, suggesting a calculated move to maintain alliances. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Spill Chronicles. It's me, Ramona here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. On the other hand, once again, Sandoval is being forced upon us, potentially ruining traders. However, the prospect of Bob, the drag queen, taking him down a peg is nothing short of glorious. Dorinda and Bob, the drag queen, have the perfect opportunity to deliver an epic takedown of Tom Sandoval. It's a chance to break free from the grip of Evolution Media, Bravo, and Andy's obsession with him. While some may not be thrilled, I see potential in watching Sandoval become unhinged and universally disliked. His removal from the VPR universe often reveals his true absurdity, making it entertaining to witness his self-implosion. This situation sets a dangerous precedent for other problematic reality TV men, suggesting that you can behave atrociously and still maintain a career. Katie would have been a stellar addition to the show, providing a much-needed reprieve from Sandoval's antics. He's already marred one of my favorite shows, and now he's encroaching on another. The verbal sparring between Tom and Dorinda is something I'm eagerly anticipating. Imagine the fireworks when a tipsy Dorinda gets in on the action. Few deserve the wrath of a drunk Dorinda, but Sandoval is definitely one of them. And let's hope Sarah gets her chance to put him in his place, just like she did with Kyle on Summer House this season. Moreover, during the Secrets Revealed episode, Lala boldly declared her pursuit of complete independence, asserting that she doesn't rely on anyone for her happiness or needs. Yet, it's ironic how she seemed to lean on Ariana's actions during the finale to sustain her paycheck. It's evident that Lala's belief in her self-sufficiency often translates into a lack of genuine presence for others, as she confessed on her podcast to being more of a presence than a good friend. However, when others uphold their boundaries, she's taken aback and incensed, refusing to acknowledge her own dependency needs. She speaks with contradictory tongues, and perhaps a bit of silence from her end would resolve many of her issues. A hiatus from social media and retail therapy could pave the way for a fresh start, allowing her to reemerge with positive news and a renewed perspective. On the other hand, I found this adorable. It looks like they're having a blast in Fiji. By the way, I've always wondered about that Asian squat too. It seems like no matter what I do, my heels refuse to touch the ground. It's like they're repelled by some invisible force. Some folks have offered some great advice on how to do it, but it's also important to acknowledge that our bodies are all different. Sometimes, no matter how hard we try, certain things just don't come naturally, and that's okay. Stretching can definitely help, but don't stress if it doesn't happen right away or at all. Haha, the whole idea of squatting being an Asian thing is pretty funny. It's become a bit of a stereotype, but in reality, it's more about flexibility than ethnicity. My husband's family, who are all white, can do it effortlessly, while I struggle, so it really varies from person to person. Oh, and speaking of couples, Sophie Ross mentioned she saw Dan and Ariana in NYC the other day, and they were just inseparable, holding hands and kissing the whole time. Too cute. However, Katie has often been labeled as the villain in earlier seasons, and I'll admit, I've had my moments of criticism too. However, upon reflection, there's something admirable about her. Despite the constant scrutiny and criticism, Katie has remained steadfastly true to herself. Now, more people are recognizing and appreciating her authenticity. Unlike some others who change their tune based on public opinion, Katie has stayed resolutely and unapologetically herself. Additionally, it's puzzling why Sheena and Lala insist on denying their activity in the comments section when it's clear they engage with it regularly. Instead of owning up to it, they perpetuate the charade. Katie, on the other hand, is praised for her transparency. Regarding Sheena's response about Ariana talking to Tom, it seems nonsensical. Ariana's affirmation of Sheena's concerns should have sufficed without the need for further validation from Tom. It's baffling how Sheena perceives her reply as reasonable when it's merely arguing over technicalities. Ariana's prior knowledge of Tom's behavior over the past decade should have been sufficient to validate Sheena's suspicions. It's unfair to burden Ariana with the task of confronting Tom, especially considering her own mental health struggles. Sheena's insistence on Ariana talking to Tom appears misguided. It's unclear what Sheena hopes to achieve by having Ariana reiterate what she's been saying all along. It seemed Sheena's insistence on this conversation stems more from a desire to save face for the cameras rather than genuine concern. In essence, Sheena's attempts to save face only serve to make her appear more foolish. Instead of being honest about her motivations, she continues to push for a conversation that adds little substance to the situation. Perhaps it's time for Sheena to confront the reality of her actions and motivations. Moreover, great news! Katie's dress is available again at Risa. I've been eagerly waiting for the email notification, but it seems it didn't come through. Just wanted to give a heads up to those who were interested in getting it after the restock. I just ordered mine. I've personally bought 3 dresses from that website, and I adore all of them. Shipping to Canada can be a bit pricey, but it's worth it for their stylish and adorable designs. They keep adding new and cute styles, making it hard to resist. On the other hand, before the reunion aired, there was speculation that Ariana would confront Lala and potentially end their friendship. Both parties denied any such confrontation occurred, which we now know to be true. This isn't about bashing Lala or praising Ariana. It's about understanding the dynamics at play. From Ariana's perspective, it's clear why their friendship might have reached its end. However, Lala's response is harder to comprehend. In an alternate universe, had Ariana apologized for walking away that night, would their friendship have survived? It's a genuine question worth pondering. Would Lala have accepted the apology, acknowledged her own role, and reconciled? Many believe that Lala wouldn't have accepted the apology because doing so would have made her appear unreasonable for expecting it in the first place. She had painted herself into a corner with her justifications for her anger. Lala likely recognizes Ariana as a victim of Sandoval's behavior. However, admitting fault and accepting an apology might have left Lala feeling lost and even more irrational. On Lala's podcast, she expressed frustration at the different treatment she and Ariana received during their respective breakups. This resentment might have fueled her issues with Ariana even before Sandoval. Lala's envy and frustration grew as Ariana's popularity soared, leading to her lashing out. Ultimately, Ariana became the target of Lala's displaced emotions. No matter what Ariana said or did, it's unlikely that it would have changed Lala's mind. Ariana was merely the unfortunate recipient of Lala's envy, anger, and frustration. However, how does he manage to sustain such a lavish lifestyle? It seems he's swimming in debt. I couldn't contain my laughter when those paparazzi photos of him with the rented Rolls-Royce surfaced. Props to the editors for timing the car reveal right before the scene where Tom grapples with bills, admitting he can only maintain a $22,000 per month lifestyle for 6 to 8 months. It's a stark reminder for him to embrace living within his means before ending up back in an apartment, facing tough choices between essentials. It's become his signature move, pretending to be independently wealthy. Perhaps he should consider 3D printing to offset the costs of his extravagant cosplay endeavors. I wouldn't be surprised if he started a business selling little mustache worms to mask his discomfort with the jokes aimed at him. His obsession with portraying himself as a star leads him to overspend on makeup, costumes, and other indulgences for his band gigs, despite his financial reality. It's akin to rappers flaunting wealth they don't possess, only to fall into debt and lose everything in the end. Considering the financial scrutiny involved in purchasing luxury items like cars and houses, it's doubtful anyone would trust his financial stability. It's more plausible that the Rolls-Royce is rented or borrowed, given his current financial predicament. Additionally, I noticed a stark contrast in the questions directed at Ariana regarding her relationship with Dan compared to the ones posed to Tom and Schwartz about their respective partners. Ariana faced inquiries about the timing of her relationship post-Sandoval, Dan's absence from certain events, and even superficial topics like his hair length and living arrangements. There was little opportunity for her to express admiration for Dan or highlight his positive qualities. It felt like they were searching for criticism. In contrast, the questions posed to Tom and Schwartz about their partners were more open-ended, with Andy even hyping them up without critical follow-ups. One notable moment was when Ariana mentioned that Dan isn't under contract or paid to appear on the show, to which Andy compared it to Brock filming without pay in a previous season. This comparison seemed misguided, as it highlighted Brock's eagerness to be on camera for free, whereas Dan's reluctance to participate is seen as a positive choice. Ariana's relationship with Dan appears to be the most healthy among the group. He's close to her age, holds a job, and doesn't seek attention from the show. There are no glaring red flags, unlike the situations with the Toms and their partners. While I refrain from making assumptions about their relationships, it's clear that Ariana's situation doesn't warrant the level of scrutiny it received compared to the others. Moreover, I'm rewatching Season 3, and I just can't wrap my head around why Sheena, Kristen, and Jax tried to make motorboating a dick a thing. It's one of the most absurd things I've ever heard, and I never believed it for a second. I wonder if they all got together to plot revenge, and this was the best they could come up with. It's funny because it came right after the drama with Kristen and Jax, so maybe they were trying to divert attention away from themselves. Plus, Jax has a history of stirring up trouble. The whole storyline was just ridiculous. Motorboating a dick isn't even a real thing. And if it did happen, they were in a public bar, so presumably the guy would have had his pants on. It just doesn't add up. It seemed like they were just trying to vilify Katie because she had been tough on them about cheating. And Jax, in particular, seemed determined to break up Schwartz and Katie. What's infuriating is that Jax still tries to claim it actually happened. Even on WWHL, he mentioned it as a reason why Katie cheated. But we all know how unreliable Jax's version of events can be. He only tells the truth when it suits his agenda. I think Kristen and Jax concocted this plan to get back at Katie, especially since she was the one who initially brought up the rumors about Jax and Kristen sleeping together. Jax probably resents Katie for several reasons, blaming her for losing Stassi, and because she's always seen through his lies, and made it clear how much she's disgusted by him. As for Kristen, she was just throwing everything at the wall, hoping something would stick and take the spotlight off herself. And Scheana, well, she'll say whatever she needs to for attention and approval from the guys. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.